Alrighty, let's get into it. Hopefully this is all going on, which looks like it is, so that's cool. Alright, so this session we're going to be looking at kind of like one of the simpler approaches to it, but creating assets with simple tileable materials. Now we can get those from some CCO sources, so we'll do that before starting, and then start making some cool stuff. So, let's jump in. Now, first up, let's go to the docs page, because what I want to try and do is get some cool textures that we can put onto some assets. So, let's have a look. So going to resources, asset resources, textures, we have a bunch of websites that offer CCO textures that we can use on our assets. Now, I haven't used many of these actually, but say for example, the first one has some good stuff. So basically what I'm going to try and do is I'm sort of thinking of a low polygon like desk or a chair, table, like things like that, that I could sort of put together in the same style. Now the style I'm thinking for this one could be anything, but I'm going to go with sort of like a dark wood with maybe kind of gold trim or gold assets, if that makes sense. So for that, I'm going to need two different textures, I guess. So we don't want half a tree. This is looking good because I want sort of like that shiny appearance. Hey Ungiverse, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I think you just joined the Mona channel like recently, yeah? If so, welcome. So let's grab that one. I'm gonna. Is it channel packed? Now we definitely don't need 4K for that. I'm gonna start with 2K, and then adjust in Unity as I see fit. So let's put these. Let's make a new space. We'll do it from here. So where are we? This is a workshop. I've done a lot of workshops. Let's go 31. Tileable material assets. Ah, sneaky. Well, welcome the public-facing version of you. Alright, so I got that one. Nope, I need that again. Go back. So that's the main one. That's going to be a lot of things. The next one we want is kind of like a gold. Something like this, but a little bit more that. You want scratched? No, we kind of want new assets. I wonder if we can tweak this one. This one gold. I want that without the scratches. Let's see where else. Doesn't have anything I want. Let's go gold. I think this one's alright. Maybe alright. What's it got? Still a bit scratched. Nope. that, but gold. Where's gold 97? I didn't see it. Hey, Moody Design, how's it going? Materials shopping. It feels very much like, what do I need to do today? Oh, that'd be nice. If it was gold. The thing is, I could very easily grab one that is what I want and then probably change it in Photoshop to look like the colors change. I could 100% do that. And I might have to. Because for some reason... CG boost, which one's that one? That one, okay. You said so. I'll do it. What do we got? Gold 07. That one? Yeah. Yeah, alright. The reason I'm not using that is because it's a substance painter. No, we got the one here. Okay. We'll give that a shot. Cool. It's got to be perfect. Like, simple fact of asset creation has got to be perfect. All right, we'll get into it either way. Okay, cool. Alright, that'll work. Okay, we can get rid of those. We'll leave that up because they're useful and I'll pull up all the time, to be honest. Okay. Just changing the lighting. Anyway, moving on. So, Blender. One of my favorite programs for a very long time. Hang on. Alrighty, so Blender, get rid of stuff, keep the box, because it is quite useful. What do we want to make? I was thinking a desk and a chair, but if anyone in the chat would like to offer a suggestion of something they would like to see, I can definitely do that. Now, let's be realistic on this. Standard. Got any in quick, otherwise I'm going to start a desk. Standard desk dimensions. Let's go real. Okay. So we're going to take our box and we're going to make our basic shape. So height is Z, so that would be, let's say, 76. Nope. 0.76. There we go. 91 deep, really? That's not right. An award? What kind of award? Like a Golden Globe? Could do it. 20 by 30 by 30. That seems weird. Nope. That'll look. Okay. Alright, let's make a desk and then we'll make an award on the desk. Made of gold. That wins. GZ. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna sort of basic dimensions of a desk. I don't like... Their dimensions don't make sense. $30 by $30. Hang on. Actually, in Mona, you're looking at, what is it, 0.45 for seated arrangements. Yeah, so I think the height's okay. Alright, let's just build that and then we can adjust it as needed. So, sorry that. Trying to be accurate too much. Let's do this. So in Blender, you go to edit mode for any editing. And then we can move that up. G to kind of that. A little thick. A little thick. We'll do that. So we have our basic desk. Well, let's do Control R. Control R to add an edge loop. To do that, 3 goes to polygon mode up here. E goes down. And what I'm thinking of, like, doing sort of like a metal stand. I think that might be pretty cool. Yeah, so let's keep it separate. For that, let's go to Add Mesh Cylinder. And once you do that, this will come up and allows you to adjust this. Now, in Mona, because it's WebGL based, we want the polygon count to be as low as possible. So 32 for something that's going to be sort of that small isn't very good. So we want to go maybe 9? No. 12. We'll make it sort of like a high quality desk. So a little bit more polygons, and that I think is good. Just my head. I'm old, I've seen a lot of desks. That said, that's actually a very good point. We could use Midjourney again, but this time I think I'll just use the net. So, what sounds cool? Cool mahogany desks. This is kind of what I'm going for. That's actually better. Thank you, Moody. I think you're onto something there. Maybe like this. Yeah, no, I think you're onto something there. Let's do that. Bye. I'm gonna undo a few things here because I want 2 edge loops. Yeah. Optical illusion there. It feels like that gets warped when you do that. It's kind of cool. Also annoying that brains work that annoyingly. Z down. Make sure that gets to the bottom. So GZ. Get that there. I could tweak it there, but like Devil and go 0 if I wanted to. Okay. What else do we have? So we have that sort of block down the bottom. So I'm going to R that and R that. I'm not going to move it down because those are equal. And now I can move it down. G, Z. Maybe there. Okay, that works. Do we want to go through or do we want the block? I kind of want the block, I think. So I'm going to put that in as well. So I'm going to go Control R. Move it up there. Maybe to there. And I'm going to use bevel to sort of get that depth in there. Like so. And then I'm just going to delete these faces. And I think I can do this, which is really quite good. Bridge faces. Done. Press 2 to go to lines. F. F? Is it already there? No, there we go. Okay. Cool. Next up, let's get some bevels involved. I think. So I'm just gonna go flat here. Actually, what I'm gonna do, press tab to go to object mode, Control A, and let's go scale. Actually, no. Scale is the main one, but I'm going to also do all transforms because I want the pivot to be down there. But the scale one is because when I grab all of these assets and do bevel, it will do it all equally. Once I go extrude region, extrude along normals. Like so. Let's go 0.02. That's good. Alright, how are we looking? Looks very desk-like. Edit again. Let's make these a little wider. So, scale X. Nope. Although that's kind of cool. What? Maybe there. Just a little bit. Okay, what else do we have? Drawers in there will work. I'm going to make those separate because I kind of want to use Reactor to maybe open them and stuff because that'd be fun. Okay. Question from the chat. Do we want sort of the blocks? Because that's kind of cool. Or do we want like simple? We can make those gold. What else do we have? That's it. There's 2 designs of this particular type of desk. The other question is, do we want... I don't mind this. Drawers and a cupboard. That's actually kind of cool. So I might do that. Yeah. Okay. Alright. So the next thing I need to do... I'm going to keep these. I'm going to remove them later. Once again, poly count kind of matters a fair bit. But I could get rid of these 2. Or these ones. Once again, each has a poly count. They don't make any difference to the asset. So I'm going to go dissolve edges, not edges. If I delete edges, they completely disappear. If I dissolve edges, they just go away. Yeah, cool. Yeah, it is tricky. Like, there's a lot of good desks, I guess. That's what it comes down to. I'm also going to get rid of these ones. because you'll never see it. Dissolve edges. There we go. Okay. So these are a bit too many, but we'll blend them up there. But I might want to sort of cut or do some edging there. So I'm going to keep that as is. All right. Next up. Now, what these do, reference does, notice there are drawers in like the top raised section. So that means I'm going to have to move this down. So I can make that a drawer. So G, Z, maybe to there. The thing is also we need the drawers to be the same height. So, what's an easy way to do that? Yes. So when you when you select an edge, and we can do that up here actually. So if I grab all of these edges here, so this doesn't affect the silhouette at all. So these are polygons that your WebGL verse or Mona in this particular case will like see and compute. Now it's not many, of course, at this point, but it adds up over time. So if I just go delete edges, it'll just take the top off, right? So that's gone. But we don't want that. I actually want delete dissolve edges, and it will just remove that edge and the poly count. So we've saved sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 polygons just by getting rid of that edge because there's no silhouette difference. And that works for that edge very easily. Now these ones are a little bit more complicated. Because I'll want to cut this rectangle, and if I get rid of that, then I lose that advantage, and I can clean it up later. So, yeah, probably, really? It is, well done. Of all of the hotkeys I should know, it's honestly that one. Thank you. It's so strange how I know some hotkeys, and I use, like, I don't even know where the original is. And some things where I always use the button. So, Moody Design, teaching us all. Alright. Let's look at the size of a drawer. So, in this case, I'm actually going to make a new one. Because reasons. So the drawers have to be the same size. So I'm going to scale it up a bit. Maybe... seem pretty thick edges. So let's go that. Scale SZ. SZ. That's it. That looks fine. G down. Now, their drawers, they are above that a little bit. So let's do that. Okay. And then Shift D with a Z to go up. And holding Control to select Snap. So that's too close. That's actually perfect. So I'm going to grab those. Shift D. That's good. And one more. There. Now, a lot. Grr. Some of the drawers are 4, some of the 3. So that's anyway interesting. Good point. Never thought of the control cut. Now, do we make these go up or do we make that go down? I said point, yeah, no, I think scale Z, make it go up a bit. Scale Z again. I think that's good. And then we'll just move that down. like so. Make that in the middle, move that up slightly. Cool. Now, our drawers, no, I'm going to need them separate. They need to be separate drawers. So I'm going to move them that way. For a couple of reasons. Why did that? Interesting. So a quick work around that is just scale X0 to flatten those out. Don't know why they did that. All right. So with these ones, I'm going to move them back a bit. Maybe to there. Edit all of them. Let's go back. Maybe to there. Pretty deep drawers. No, that's reasonable. And we're going to do a Boolean, actually. And I never use them, I should, but I don't. So I'm going to duplicate these. Shift D. I'm going to merge those. Join. Hide these. Name this one because naming is important. Alright, and then go to modifier. Boolean. Object, that one. And that's what we want. Apply. Delete. Cool. So now with the Boolean, which we can cut out that tool there. So let's go back and do that. So in this case, we've got difference, union, and intersect. So join things. Intersects is the overlapping area, I believe. And they're just choosing that object. I don't use Booleans nearly enough. And they are pretty cool. So have at it. Yeah. Ah. Yeah, about that. Let's make them the right side of the desk, shall we? Over here. Now we want sort of like a cupboard over there, so I'm going to move these over this side and make sure they sort of line up here with G. G, X, Y, Z is the moves. We also want that one to actually be over there as well, and one in the middle. So let's actually let's do this because it's all comes down to like the drawers themselves. So let's use them as the base. So Shift D and then Y to go across here. I'm gonna put that in the middle. About there. S, Y to embiggen. We kind of want... to the edge? Yeah, I think let's put it to the edge there, actually. Oh, no, we didn't... Oh. Okay, I'll manually clean those up. Okay, anyway. D, Y... I don't know, sorry. I did this on purpose, so I know exactly where this is meant to go. Shift D, Z to go down. Line that up there, because I did that on purpose. G, Z to move down. There we go. Yes, but that's the thing. I do want these to be reacted. Actually, I want to do... You can open each one separately, because I think that'd be cool. And then you can hide stuff in them. So yes, very good point. But that is my purpose. G, Y, G, X. There we go. Actually, I'm going to try something. Control plus. We'll do that, and then I can go dissolve edges. Clean. Excellent. Alright, so. Let's duplicate that. And then join that. So one overlap of that, actually, because you make a very good point, is we actually make a couple of these drawers reactors and the rest not, kind of to prove exactly that point where poly count is kind of important, and not so much because this is not going to be a high polygon asset. So we could put like a reactor here, 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 and here, and then make the rest of them kind of not. So I think that's actually not a bad idea, because you wouldn't have that many. Oh, and the cupboard. I want the cupboard to be there. Very important. So let's figure that out later. We can easily get rid of them. Oops. Don't edit that. Get rid of that. Okay. We have our desk though. Now what? I kind of like... Let's do this. Let's open the cupboard. Let's open the big drawer. And let's do this one. And you won't know it until you roll over it that you can open it. I think that's kind of fun. Let's do that. So I'm going to get rid of that one. This one. Yeah. Ah, man. Someone after my own heart. The problem with this, and this is a consideration with any like game object, in any game basically, if you create a thing that looks like, so say for example the one on the right, I don't know if you can see me pointing, but the one on the right down here, because that one does work, people will think that the other ones don't work. So there's an element to setting expectations correctly. And on that point, I think I might get rid of that one for exactly that reason. So I'm going to remove that one, but I'm going to keep this one and this one, because I think there's like a big one, you can put big things in there, and a drawer in here with some shelves. I think those two are good. But because there's no single drawers, then people would understand that that's on purpose. So I think with any game design or asset creation design, setting expectations and then meeting them very accurate lately. Like they don't even have to think about it. It's just an automatic response is kind of important. So heads up on that one. All right. So let's do this. We want... What do we want? We want to get out of edit mode. We want to keep these because then we can just have the drawers. So let's join those ones together. And then we want those separate for those reasons. So let's do this. So we want that poly count to be low. So let's just move them up like so. And then we're going to remove the back. So by having the vertices on the back selected, if I go to poly mode by pressing 3, it will keep those selected and then just go remove, so delete. So even though Unity can't, well, even though you can't see it, Unity can, and it will process those. Now it will not. I kind of like this, the really close edge and then the really forward edge. That's kind of cool. I like that. I'm just going to make sure, so let's hide that with H. And make sure these are aligned to the edge, which they are. So that's good. Now. Okay, cool. Now this one we can actually turn into a door. We don't want to get rid of the back because when it opens, you will see it. G. There we go. One more somewhere. Not that one, that one. Now we want to keep that one because we want that to come out. So what we need to do is Control R to edge loop, put that up there. Ah. There we go. And again. Actually, I'm going to remove those and do this instead because it'll be cleaner. So we need inset edges or inset faces. That one there. Do that. Now notice, this is actually a perfect example. Notice how the back is smaller than the width there. And the reason for that is go to object mode or press tab, Control A, scale. And now if you do it, it'll be aligned. So, like I usually use Control A all the time. Like it's getting quite, how would you say? 0.015. Nice and clean edge there. Like automatic nowadays. Because, yeah, I just edit a lot. Okay, so let's make that sort of there. So that's good. All right, that works. No, Moody, you're right. There's definitely a balance when designing to like optimize spaces. There's kind of like this process of building to make it easier and then cleaning up at the end, or cleaning up as you go, depending on the asset. So say for example keeping those edge loops there just in case I want to make that shape, right? So if I removed these ones, and there's a problem there, but for the argument, I'm just going to do that. It would be harder to sort of make that edge there if I wanted to. I could do it, but it's a bit more annoying. But knowing that I could now just do inset, inset, inset. With this, if I wanted that sort of appeal, so putting it like that. So yeah, bouncing between ease of use and polygon count over the whole journey of the asset is pretty important, and a good skill to have. So yeah, And you pick a lot of that up. You just pick up with time. Yeah. Let's go back to that. Yeah, you just pick it up with time. What's going on there? Let's get rid of those because I need to clean this bit up. You can't because there's no cut there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is use K. Also cut, which is this one. Knife. So press K, and this just allows you to sort of make edges. Because what I want to do, and then space, sorry. So K to knife, and then space to clean. The reason for that is so I can actually select these polygons here. Delete them. Faces. This time I want to get rid of the face. I'm actually going to scale this really small because I want it to be right on that line if I can, like that. Then I'm going to get rid of these two and then just join this. So Alt edge select will do the whole loop, and then press F. Alt select F. Now the F closing that off, I believe, is due to one of the coolest add-ons, but also the simplest, is the Mesh F2 add-on. So that again, we go to Edit, Preferences, Add-ons, Mesh F2. And make sure that's on, because that allows you a lot of very useful polygon editing tools. So we got rid of these 2 polygons, and that's all nice and neat. And then that's all aligned again. So that's good. What else do we need to do? Okay. All right. Back to the reference. Do we want a sharp corner or this? I don't mind that, to be honest. Like a little bevel. Ooh, kind of like that. Kind of a little bevel on this section, but then a sharp bevel on that. That's kind of cool. Let's do that. That means we might have to scale in the drawers. Yeah, we'll leave it. I think we'll leave it. Yeah, F2 is great. Like, especially when I'm doing retopology. Retopology is like basically just pure polygon work. So F2 is super useful for that. All right. So let's join those two actually. And then oh, that's it. So we could finish there, to be honest. We do need some handles. Now it does look like every single mahogany desk has exactly the same type of handles. So we have to make them that way. Don't have a choice. So I'm just going to grab one of these actually. So I'm just going to select that. Shift D. Move it forward with X, I think. Yep. Then I'm going to separate that just to kind of keep it clean. So separate. So right mouse click, separate selection. Press tab, and then we can go back to just this. Yeah, bevel's an interesting one. I do want to do that, I think. But kind of that's as a last resort. So we're sort of still on first, like, primary detail. Maybe secondary detail to a point. I would consider bevels for this particular asset tertiary detail. So we'll definitely get to that. GX, nope, GY, yep. Let's go this mode. So, for this one, I'm actually going to set the origin to geometry. Why not? Add a modifier, mirror, in the Y, I think. Yep. And then put clipping on, so we can do that. Move edit mode over here, so we've got that sort of point there. Cool, done. All right. So, just for all to see, we're doing sort of this effect. Because either all of these are the one desk, or every desk like this has this particular thing, so use the reference, yo. I'm usually more of a modern guy, so I don't particularly like it. But to the reference, it's the right way to go. So, let's go 1, 2, 3. Yeah, let's go with that. So like a rough shape, and then it sort of goes in actually, so I don't think that's enough, but that's fine. Are you talking about baking high polygon into low polygon or something else? What are your secrets? I'm gonna try something else actually. Get rid of that. These are vertices. Yeah. So we want that edge to be sort of perfect. So let's make a few more curves because we do want this to be kind of good. Yeah, so these are going to be pretty small, so I'm actually going to keep them on the low end of the poly count. We could add more later, but even smaller still, I think. Yep, that works. I'm gonna Control A that one because see if this works. Not really. Actually, just E. There we go. So one approach to this that I would consider for like that high quality is like maybe a trim sheet actually. So you get beveled edges, things like that. I think that would be actually pretty good. But for this one, we're trying to just go for a simple material approach. Like how do you quickly make an asset for sort of beginner builders? That said, the last two workshops have been trim sheet based, so there's definitely enough content around. It's quite small in comparison, actually. There we go. Now we're talking. Now this needs to go back a bit. So I'm going to put 2 in there. Because... So that's one approach. Now, I don't really like that one because I do want it to be sort of like a curve. So for that, let's get a Bezier curve going. Yep. Yeah. I found Grad Doc yesterday, actually. It looks really good for trim sheet design. But yeah, for the purposes of this workshop, we're sort of going for the simple approach to build stuff. But yes, trim sheets are amazing. Big fan. Like, big fan. And agree, that would be a good way to get that sort of high detail in while keeping the poly count down. So the answer is yes, basically. Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. Okay, so once we have our curve where we want it to, I think this one, geometry, depth, nope, 0.01. 0.005. Yep, there we go. Resolution as low as possible. Let's go to 1. Yeah, so that's a hex, which is much better for the purposes of what we want. Okay, so in that case, we used basically add curve, Bezier. Go to edit mode, and then you use it much like any curve in any program. So illustration or Illustrator and things like that. To make kind of the shape that you're after. And that's kind of it, to be honest. So I'm pretty happy with that. Let's put a mirror on this one as well. No, I'm going to do something. Now, the poly, like this, doesn't matter so much because we can clean that up manually, which I'd like to show, actually, so I'm going to do that. So let's do this. Put that there. Control A, all transforms. So the pivot goes to there. And then we can move it back. So when we go mirror, done. Okay. I think that works. So we can get rid of our guide. We can put this on the... Let's edit a little bit more so this is actually more correct to that. And I kind of want that to be a bit longer, I think. So let's do that as well. Yeah, that works. And once again, that's just the base for what we want to do. So once we've got our mesh done, can we clip a curve? Because that'd be cool. Yes, we can. You can only apply these in object mode. So I press tab a lot to bounce between those two. Object and edit mode. And then go apply. Okay. Can't do it because it's bevel. So I'm going to go to convert to mesh. And then we have mesh. And then we can start getting rid of some of these. So as always, the silhouette is what you're after with the poly count. So that I don't want because I want that actually to be straight. That's a pretty subtle change, so I'm going to get rid of that one. But then it starts getting pretty... Each one actually changes the silhouette a bit. But this is a very small asset, so I'm going to get rid of those two for one. So dissolve edges. Actually, because of that, and I think it's kind of nice. I don't mind it, actually. I'm going to get rid of these ones as well. Yeah, so that's what we want. Low poly count, still looks good. Excellent. And if I wanted to, like say for example, that curve there, I could... Is that the same one? Yeah. And put a bevel on that if I wanted to. Just to get that curve in there a little bit more. Like so. Maybe this one as well. And for those, I'm just going to move it a little bit to the Y. Done. Now, another thing that does seem to happen with these types is this gets a little bigger. So I'm going to put proportional editing because it's awesome. And I'm going to scale this. Now I'm going to go bigger because you need to see this ring. Proportional editing is just really cool. I like it. So let's go on the Z. Actually, I kind of want that to be like a bevel. Because I think that would look good. It's a little bit different from what we usually do. But I think that would be nice. So let's go to mode, do scale, and then go that. How's that look? No. Actually, what I will do is let's shrink these ones. I kind of like this straight, actually. Now, so you got the thing, and the thing is you can change what type of proportional edit you've got. So I'm going to give this one a shot. Nah. How about this one? Yeah. I'm just trying to, once again, look at the reference in regards to these sort of things. So there's a little ring around there. I'll put that in there. It's a bit of a squiggly. They do seem thinner. So maybe I'll make that a bit thinner, which is going to be tricky, actually. Actually, problem solved. Now, let's do this. Now, one common thing I've done in the past, and I think this is because of, like, techniques ages ago, is I would extrude this, like so. GY? X. Nope. Get rid of that one. GX. So I got that. And then extrude those, but once again, for that poly count, I'm just going to, what's the best way to do this? I'm going to close off those with F, split them, so split, not separate. So split keeps it in the same object, but disconnected from the elements, and then just scale those up. So I'm going to get rid of that one because we're going to get back to the mirroring approach, I think. Like so. So previously, if I just extruded it, you would have polygon, polygon, polygon. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This approach is much better. And there's no difference at all. So I got 2 polygons there in comparison to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So, yeah. Do you want that to be a circle, or... I actually don't mind the hexagon, actually. It looks kind of cool. E to extrude. X to go on that axis. Let's move this all forward. I'm going to delete all those because faces. I'm going to mirror this. And I think you're right. It might actually look better with a little bit more. Yeah, I think you're right there. Scale X, Y, S. Yeah, there we go. Mirror. Yeah? Okay, what do we got here? I see your point with that one. The catch is... So I think because the desk will have, if you see it, and I kind of want it to be a little bit hidden, but as soon as the ray trace sees the thing, it's going to have like E open, because I'm going to do interact. So this isn't walk into, you actually have to open it. So if you see the big desk or the cupboard, it's going to come up. So once again, that falls into what we were talking about before in regards to the... what do you call it? Expectation, and that's a really good point. But in this case, I think it's a balance between, how do you call it? Expectation and style. Yeah, no, those two things against it. Style versus expectation. Form versus function, if you will. So having two different things when everything else, but it is a bigger draw, so you could do that. Yeah, there's definitely approaches to it. Another approach, and this is old school 3D, I guess, or gaming, where like things that you can interact with in any way are like lighter or brighter or not merged in with the scene as well. Like the Zelda wall is a prime example. So let's make this a bit bigger, see what happens. Yeah, I don't mind that at all. Let's go back to this one. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that, I think. Now, there's two approaches to this one. One, we create one handle, and then we basically instance it in Unity. But the thing is, like, say, for example, you might want to make this GLB, so you can sell it as an asset on its own, for example. So if you want to keep this external to Unity, and or external to Mona, so you can sell it everywhere, you would probably keep this as just a GLB, which means you can't use that. There's not too many polygons in there. There's a few. I kind of want to get rid of. Actually, what I might do, I might merge these two and play with that a bit. So there's a whole. I really like Blender's merge vertices. You have so many options with it. It's great. Now, because I've done that once, if I just go Shift R, it'll redo whatever I did, which was, in this case, merge vertices. So that's good. I don't mind that. Why is that one so sharp? And I'm just going to eyeball this one a bit. Oops. Yeah, that's better. One whole round. What I might do though is move this one up. So sort of there. Rotate it a bit that way. It's good. And maybe move this one up a bit as well. So for a lot of people, you probably wouldn't have to be this precise, but me. It's the best way to describe that. At last. Yeah, I actually, like, I think I used to hate, like, optimization. But I kind of, maybe it's just that I'm older and I get more stressed or something, but I find it quite relaxing, to be honest. Like, even unwrapping, which, and there's tools that do it all for you now, but, like, I kind of enjoy unwrapping things. It's kind of like this weird, what would you call it? Yeah, that's good. And let's convert the origin to geometry. Nope. Let's apply that. Let's convert the origin to geometry. Good. Yeah. It's got to be perfect. All right. And then we can just join this. Now, I could duplicate and join, but what I'm going to do is just edit and Shift D with a Z. And then we can sort of just keep doing that. Using left control to sort of snap. So let's go D across to the middle, which is about there. And same again, Shift D. X, nope, Y. Okay. Yeah. There's a craft to it. Now, with this one, what kind of handle do we want on that? Do we just want a turned version of that, or what do we got? Let's have a look. Where is one? That one. Show me that one. Okay, so we got that one. So probably the same desk. That's massive. Ugh, don't like that one. Yeah, don't mind that. Sort of like a weird little... Seems to be the way to go. Let's do that one. Ah. Yeah, it's that one again. Okay, let's do that. And for that... Do we grab one of them? No, I think we'll just modify this one. Actually, what I will do, though, I'm going to grab one. I'm going to separate this one. Yep. Because we want that hex to be the same size. So with a lot of these sort of things, you definitely want uniformity. Rotate down there. Don't mind it, actually. Oops. Where'd it go? Why? Oh, I need to duplicate it and then copy it. Yeah. So, Shift D. Done. Right mouse click to go back. Right mouse click. Separate selection. There we go. Oops. Back to origin to geometry. Rotate. See, I don't mind that, actually. What do we reckon? So we either leave it like that, or we do something like this one. Both are fine, to be honest. I don't think there's really much benefit. And a keyhole is actually a very good point. I should put one on this. Let's do that. So for keyhole, let's duplicate that, move it up. Move it under? Under. Yeah, under. And for reasons, I'm actually going to... Yeah, I'm going to do something with that one. I have an idea. So let's not do that. Let's do this one. Subtle, but kind of important. I'm just gonna... Let's make it a little bigger. Space for that. Let's grab that, move it up there. Yeah, no, that's fine. Okay. So for that part, we're going to find a dark spot on the wood texture. And sort of add that. I think that'll be kind of cool. Subtle, but cool. I like it. All right. So we need these all objects. I'm going to... No, I'll just leave it. Yeah. Join. Now we need to separate that one, so let's do that. Make sure X-ray is on, because otherwise you won't select everything. I'll have to check that with the other one. Should be fine though. What are we doing? Separate. Join. And join. Alrighty. So we have 3 objects. 1 drawer, 1 cupboard, 1 desk. Excellent. Now let's get some names in. Desk, cupboard. I do find keeping like naming system, so like a hierarchy of sorts, so everything is under a desk, and that keeps everything sort of together for these sort of things. The last thing I want to do here for the actual mesh is some shelves, because that's how they work. So let's grab that one and duplicate, just because then it aligns perfectly. I'm going to press E to extrude. I think that's good. And then I'm going to get rid of the back, because those are not seen. And to be honest, this, tricky question, this one. This one is a prime example of do we not? Now, if I knew that all floors were going to be solid, no one would ever look up to see this. But there are many spaces that have transparent floors. So I'm going to keep that in there. It's just 2 polygons for that purpose. Always rely on Metaverse builders to break physics. First rule of Metaverse Club. Okay. That looks good. Excellent. Alrighty. So we have our desk, basically. So now we're getting to that tertiary details, like the bevels and things you were talking about. And I agree, we need to make something a little bit more interesting here. So I'm going to grab these ones. Nope, I'm going to all transforms first, just to make sure that these all bevel properly. And that one. Yeah. Bevel. Use the right one. Now, we could do... I don't mind that. We're going to have to clean up the drawer. That's not a drawer. We're going to have to clean up the drawers a little bit. No, no, that's where we want. Let's do this, actually. 0.05. Nope. Yeah. 7.5. Perfect. Now, do we want a sharp edge or do we want a slightly curved edge? Slightly curved. Let's give it a look. Put that in there. Shape. Go back. Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah. Now, it's only one, but the thing is, because this is so small, like, one is all you need. So that's actually pretty good. Don't mind that at all. And we can use... I actually don't mind the hard edge. No, we'll smooth that as well. We'll do that in a second. Yeah, I think that's done. To be honest. Don't mind it at all. The other question is, I guess, maybe do we bevel the... maybe not bevel, but move in. I think we will do that. Because that's pretty important. I might also move these forward a bit. I kind of like this at the start, but with the detail, it doesn't look as good anymore. So, yeah, I'm going to fix that. So, what are we doing? Multi-select. Yeah. see through. Hopefully this is what we want. GY. Yes. No. Get rid of that one. GX. Now, to be honest, like these have a very slight gap, and I don't mind that. So I'm going to keep that there. Okay. Yeah, that's better. I like that. Now let's grab all the objects again. Just scale, because I want that object to still have its element there. I'm gonna have to tweak the pivot on this one. But the reason I'm doing that is because I want to grab this object on all of them, and I'm hoping I can scale them individually. I'm not sure I can do that. Hang on. Nope. Normal? Nope. Ah, this one. What am I talking about? Individual origins. There we go. Ah, these ones. Ah, okay. I'm gonna have to tweak that one first. So, the reason this one's doing weird things is because that polygon goes all the way to the edge, and we don't want that. We actually want this. So I'm going to, at last, actually I'm just going to do this one as well, at last, and then grab that. Dissolve edges. Now, to be sure, I want this to be very flat. So let's go SX. Nope. That's on normal. SX. Yep. 0. And then we want to move that forward again. So GX to there. Along with the rest of them. So now that it has that polygon, we can sort of shape the other one down, which is what we want to do. So up here, individual origins, median point, active element, things like that. We want individual origins. Just a little bit. Now, some of these will not, and the reason maybe because I did. Yeah, not sure why that one didn't work, but that's fine. Scale Z, X, Y, what? Ah. Put this back on. There we go. Beautiful. Okay. I think we have a desk. Now, next one. Next we want to sort of like smooth that edge, because I kind of want that to be smooth. So let's get rid of those two, because we don't need those. And let's clean up these as well, because we won't need those anymore. Resolve edges. Make sure it doesn't like delete. Sometimes it'll like get rid of edges and stuff. Like that. But that makes sense because we did that. So yeah. We also have these ones here. So I'm actually going to sort of move it up there. And as long as it doesn't sort of destroy anything that we want to play with, I'm even going to sort of close off these polygons, like so, just to keep things neat. Don't have to, but I think it's an old habit from old systems. Okay, so last thing we need to do is make some smooth elements. So I'm going to go shade smooth, and it looks like that. And that's fine, because we're going down to this one, which is object data properties, normals, auto smooth. Let's put this up to 50. And then you have that nice smooth. Which is excellent. Now, if I wanted to, so for example, if there was some curves that I wanted to sort of increase, you could increase that and then put mark sharp. So that's another tool you can use to make custom elements. We have our desk. It's a very big desk. Huh, interesting. A lot of them actually do have detail on the top. Yeah. Kind of want to now. I feel bad that I got rid of those three. So, if I had left those lines, this would have been super easy, but that's fine. I'm going to inset just a little bit. Maybe to there. I'm going to just knife, I think. So K to knife, press, space. K to knife, press. And then I'm going to make sure they are flat. So SY0. I'm going to line these up with the gap in the middle of the, like so. Then I'm going to bevel those edges, like so. And that's it, basically. So I'm going to make this appear different when I cut these up with the materials. So we're going to do that. We can do that in a second. Okay. Chair saved. Save often. You know, the thing I don't show at all, ever. Learn from my many, many mistakes. Desk. So I'm going to do this too because I've got the future desk. That'll be good. Okay. So we need 2 materials because we're supposed to be doing gold, and wood. And for that we need materials. So we've got material. So let's rename this one to wood. And I'm going to just delete that. Now the problem is, actually I'm going to get to new and just call this one metal. Yeah. Oh no, I've had those days. Autosave's been useful, I'll say, and I don't think I even, and Blender does have autosave, but I don't think I've even set it up properly. So yeah, set up your autosaves, save often, do what I say, don't do what I do. Okay, so with wood, I'm just gonna make a sort of a dark wood texture, and metal, let's just make that goldish for now. I could import the textures, and I probably will, but let's say we don't want textures at all. We've got that. So I'm going to select, the thing is, and this is the thing that annoys me about, we have to go to this mode to see the version. So if I go wood, right mouse click, oh, where is it? Ah, copy material to selected. That works. So one thing I've noticed, I'm going to undo that. If I assign a material, it doesn't assign to all the selected ones, but, and I keep forgetting this one, copy material to selected on this point here will do it. So that's actually pretty useful. So note that. Now let's go to the, I'm just clicking one polygon on all of the things that are metal. And then going Control L. Catch is, I didn't remember about those. Nope. Control L. And then we go metal. And then you can go assign. Metal, assign. Done. Finished. Ship it. Some things we just keep to ourselves. Okay. Now, what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to assign that to metal, so you get that sort of effect. It's going to be super small. It doesn't really matter as long as it's not metal. Should be fine. So that's cool. Right. So that's that. Now the next thing we need to do is the actual material side. So let's do this. Select wood, go to shading. And then we have this. And I'm going to pull up my materials that we got from ambient CD, whatever. Just dragged it. You can use add texture. Where is it? Image texture and then load, but drag drop is much easier. And then just go to base color. And we already have kind of a wood effect. Let's do the same with metal. So go in here, grab the metal color. Sure. Now, if you wanted to, you could load the other things in, but because we're sort of putting this into Unity, I don't bother. I just want to see what is the shape of the texture in this space. Now, as noted, this session is all about tileable textures, and for that, this is super easy. Put X-ray mode on, select everything, go to UV editing. That's what it looks like at the moment. Let's do that again. So go to UV editing, select all of the elements, and I just usually go either cube projection, could work, like so. Not bad, not bad. Or smart UV project. And it fits it in there. And you've got that. Now, because it's a tileable texture, we can change the scale as much as we want. Thing is, we can change the scale in here or in Unity, for example. So, yeah, I was thinking that before. That'd be pretty cool. I think you're right. I'm going to do that. The whole bevel or a line of the bevel? That looks good. I think that's good. But yeah, I think you're right there. Let's do, I think, the bottom one. Now, I could click one by one, or I could go with, I think it's left control. And then it will select all of the ones the shortest distance to where I select. So that's super useful for selecting that kind of element, like so. Cool. Let's go back to material, go metal, assign. Good choice. Alexa, stop. Okay. So for the tiling, yes. So when it comes to the direction, so I was definitely looking at that. This is good. That is not. I like down on the front, and so it's basically the bottom and the top. So for that, all we need to do. So I'm going to use plus, just to sort of get the top there. And I'm going to do +1 to get that top bevel as well. Grab that. And then just go rotate over here. Done. Yeah, especially if, like, yeah, playing with the metallic and smoothness. The problem there, and that's a very good point, is if you get the metallic roughness texture from a lot of these free sites, they're not Unity compatible, if that makes sense, because Unity decided to go with metallic smoothness, and they do it in an optimized way, but not the best optimized way. So if I recall, the metallic channel is the red, and the smoothness channel is the alpha. So we can definitely look at that when we start getting into Unity and then Photoshop and all that sort of stuff. Ooh, we need to tweak those ones as well. And that one. That one. Yeah, I definitely like down. So let's just go down. Once again, that sort of like down works. Oh, that's a tricky one. It's fine. No one will know. What I will do, like sometimes, say for example, I want that to flow, like I want that to go over, and these are two separate. So if I'm getting really, really picky about some of these things, I'll just go Smart UV Projects and do that, and then they'll flow across, which looks better. And that seems to be applied for most of these, so I'm just going to sort of go yes to most of these. The catch with these is the scale will change, which is a bit annoying. So, yeah, I'm going to unwrap these, because perfection. The grain shorter, like what? Okay, let's do this. So this would be good enough. You could get this in the Unity, but if you're a perfectionist like I am, I'm actually going to unwrap this manually. It won't take too long, to be honest. So for that, all you do is select the edges that you want to sort of de-origami. And you sort of want to make it so it can be flat. So I'm going to do mark seam, which will be red. Same with that down here. So let's go that, and that as well. So let's go mark seam. Now what this does is it just really saves a lot of time with unwrapping, but makes a really kind of near perfect approach to it, if that makes sense. So what else could we do? Let's get rid of this one. Let's mark seam there. That one. That one. Ooh, that's interesting. Nope. That one, and that one. Mark seam. Let's see how that goes. UV unwrap. Yeah, so we're doing some cool things, but you'll get some interesting effects with that. So there's definitely approaches to it. So I think because we're doing sort of the wood effect, I'm actually going to do every hard edge upwards, because I think that will be important. So let's get rid of that one and do those ones instead. Mark seam. Same in here. So because everything's wood, we want everything to be extremely flat. See how that goes. Better. What's all that about? There's probably these ones. So for that, now the thing is with unwrapping, you will get a seam, and I want that seam to not be seen. Now because this is tiled, it doesn't really matter if these overlap or not, but if I was going to do unique UVs, I would probably make one and then just copy that one, but doesn't matter in this case because the tileable material is forever. Let's go mark seam. Better. What's that one? Let's find out. If we click on that. The drawers. Yeah, that makes sense. So for that one, let's do the same thing again. Mark seam. Unwrap UV. So we're sort of getting there. And a couple of these ones. I think those are drawers again. Or doors in this case. So let's just get all of those. Edge. Mark seam. Same with these, I think, as well. Okay, actually, let's do this. I'm gonna grab the front of these. Control L. Go to line work. Mark seam. Unwrap. What is that one? Let's do box. This is taking longer than it needs to. So it gives you the idea either way. Let's do cube projection. It was better before. Okay. Another approach, going through all the options here, is sort of select all of the assets from the front. And I don't mind this one, actually. And then go UV project from view. Now, we want this to be that way. Done. Hey, Tindy, I can't help you with that. I'm just the 3D guy. Matt Hoyle or Justin Malillo would be the ones to talk to about that. Glad you like the tutorials. Let's do that again. Project from view. Make that over here. I like and don't like the fact that like Blender is like whatever viewport Either way, Tendy, if the application is there, feel free to apply for it. Would be the best answer for that. Sorry, got distracted. So yeah, depending on where your mouse is, so keep that in mind. Let's go that way. So notice how I'm sort of keeping this the same size because I want the grain of the wood to be the same everything, to be honest. So there's different approaches to doing it quickly versus doing it like the way you want. Like, there's all sorts of things with that. Let's grab that one here. And we can adjust as needed if need be, but yeah, you get the idea. Let's grab the top. Project from view. Now we want that one to be this way as well. That's good. And the bottom as well. Cool. Now, the thing I want with these ones, how do we do this? Yeah. So you could do that. So trim sheets is all about designing us an asset with the texture in mind, and that's a good example of that, where like there's no difference in the model, but there is in the texture. So I'm adding polygons for this effect, and that looks pretty nice. I think I kind of like that. The thing is, I definitely want that flat. I don't want that inset or anything because it's a desk, and that's what they do. So that's pretty cool. And that's fine. Now, we didn't rotate these up by the looks of it, so let's grab them again. We don't want those, though. Cool. So that's down, and that's not. Oh, okay, so that's fine. So let's get rid of that one, and then rotate this one. Cool. Alrighty. I think that's it. We have a desk. Ah, these are not smooth, so I'm going to grab all of that and find out what's going on there. Shade smooth. Okay, so this is a good example of the normal map here being, so let's go 80. Yeah, there we go. 60. Yeah, because you get those edges there sort of thing, which we don't want. So, what can we do for that? Okay. So let's just do 90. No, let's not do that. There we go. And then grab some of these and make it a hard edge. Mark sharp. That's the main one. We also have done this down here. Nope. Yep. Mark sharp. Yeah. this one. Cool. We need these two as well. So let's grab these and these. Here we go. Back to UV editing. Well, actually, we just want those two. Rotate that around. Perfect. Limited dissolve. All right, we'll give that a shot. Select all faces. Done. Select all objects. Select all faces. Done. F3. F3? Ah, F3. Limited dissolve. What's that about? Sure. Moody, what does that do? Oh, I got rid of the things. We want them though. Although, like, you're right. So if we do that without the top, I'm assuming that might be a good way to do it. Let's give that a shot. Now, what did it get rid of, though? Okay. So it cleans that up. Okay. So, personally, and this is a me choice, I'll take them off, that's fine. I will usually keep those, and I think this is from way back in the Never Never, when you really needed to have every single triangle, every single asset on the every single polygon needed to be a four-sided polygon to better animate, move, and all that sort of stuff. With a desk like this, not important. But if you're doing characters, like having every single polygon have the correct edge loops and stuff like that. Compare poly count. Okay, let's do that then. Up here, we have, in this one, statistics. 2,158 triangles. So let's go back. Okay, so I got rid of some. Alright. I'll have to remember that one. But where, though? I want to know where. Okay, I'm going to remember that one. I'm going to write that one down. That's pretty good. Limited dissolve. F3/cleanup. Because I noticed there were a couple of limited dissolves. Excellent. Thank you. Yeah, they're up here. Statistics. So yeah, we lost 20 tries. Which I will 100% take. And we have our desk. Excellent. The last thing we need to do is we need to make sure our drawers... So that one's fine. But this one needs a rotation on there. I will have to say that I'm not the biggest fan of the 3D cursor. I can't place it where I want it to. Although... maybe I could do a snap. Because that'd be cool. Okay. So putting snap on with vertex, and snap is great, especially with face. If you need a vertex to be on a face, use snap and face. If you need a vertex to be in the center or something, snap and volume is amazing. Like when you're putting bones in fingers, that's like a super cool thing to do. So in this case, I'm moving the 3D cursor to this vertex. And then I'm going to go right mouse click, set origin to 3D cursor. And then go back to that. So when I rotate it, ta-da, done. That one's fine, and that one's there. Yeah. Like, I'm usually pretty good at the poly count, but like losing 20, like I'll take it, 100%. But do make sure, like, say for example, it did get rid of the top there, which I do intend to keep. That's an interesting one, so I'm gonna have to unglitch that asset. Ah, interesting. Ah, okay. That's how it's doing it. Okay, I'm going to put a caveat on that. I think... What's going... No, no, that's fine. What am I talking about? No caveat. I take it back. I'm just making stuff up. But notice how this glitched. I think. So I'm just going to flatten that one again. And that'll be fine. That way or sideways? I think because of how wood works. I'm going to do this. So go back a bit smaller so it tries to keep aligned with everything else. And because the top, most of the top is that way, I'm going to do the bottom as well. And that should be fine. So that's good. So last check. Cool. Shift right mouse click. What's that one do? Ah. The thing is, like, you can't... Like, that works with snap, so that's good. But if you don't have snap, it's a bit, like, why does it go there? Like, it goes to wherever, like, the surface. But say I wanted it on the ground, but right there, like... Is there a way to do that? Can I move the 3D cursor? Like, on along an axis, for example. I haven't used it very much. I don't like it. But, snap. Save the day. So it's fine. I think we're good. I think that's it. Yeah. No, super useful. I'll be using that in the future. Oh, another useful thing, and I don't know... I'll just, like, sneakily put this one in. Sometimes I will use, I think it's a weighted normal. And then go, like, one of these ones and play these sort of things, so keep sharp. So that one's quite good as well for cleaning up normals and all that sort of stuff. So that's particularly useful on more complex objects like a character, but it's definitely an option. Okay. Yeah, I think it's good to go. So, let's go to layout. Let's save. Save. And let's put it in a space. Let's get it into a monospace. So, export. Actually, I'm going to make a space. So, we have it somewhere to put into. Let's go to... Let's do the whole deal, just in case anyone is new to Mona watching the video. So I've got the main starter or the SDK. I'm going to extract that here. The SDK can be easily found on our docs. I'm going to open that in Mona. Yeah, I'll do a quick Oh wow, it's 2 hours already. This is going too fast. That said, it would I will say that if you're doing this alone and not streaming, and not showing all of the different ways to do it, that would be a lot faster. So I'd probably say that would have been done in maybe an hour, hour and a half max. So don't be freaking out that it took 2 hours to make, because it took me 2 hours to make while streaming. Oh, bad. Now this is your project file. You can change the name of the folder. I usually do, so I can do 1, 2, 3, 4, so I can back up very easily. First open takes a little bit longer than usual. Depends on the space as well. Everyone do a stretch because they've been working for 2 hours. Phew. Yeah, happy to do it. That's what they're for. And yeah, of course, if you have any questions, I'm happy to go into any direction that you say is like, hey, try this. Like, all right, then. Always up for questions. It adds a lot to the workshops, actually. I really quite enjoy the conversation, so have at it. On that, what are you guys building? What's your current projects? Tell me all the things. While you do that, I'm going to go drink a drink of water. Hydrate. Alrighty. So what we're going to do is import the FBX. We're going to import the textures. We're going to make the materials. And then we're going to do a quick reactor on the cupboard, I think is a better way to go. All right, once this is installed or loaded up, go Mona, load space scenes, right mouse click on untitled, remove scene, done, build, playground, ship it. Now, we have our add your art here, and we have our content to put into it. So we need textures. So we need the wood. We'll take the normal. The roughness we'll have to tweak. So I'm going to leave that one. But I'm going to grab those and put them into textures. Done. Next up, we're going to get our gold. Displacement we don't want. We do want our normal. So let's grab that. I always get mixed up if it's the OpenGL or DirectX. I'll do this one. Now note, I haven't done the metallic smoothness because Unity does it different. So we'll be looking at that in a second, but we'll do that. Next up, I'm going to export our, actually, Control A scale on all of the elements just to make sure. Not transform, because if I do that, I lose the cursor. Do we want them separate? No, I want them all as one. Export FBX. The grants. Yeah, exciting stuff. Memory and Fractalians are doing great with that, I think. But there's so many. I think we were surprised that so many entries went in. So it's taking a bit longer to get through them all because they're all really good. Desk 2 selected. Because this is not animated or rigged, I'm going to put this on just to increase the chances that it does it properly. Export FBX. So we have our desk. Now, let's put it in the space. No, let's make a material. right mouse click on materials, create material. Let's go wood. We want 2 materials. So I'm just going to duplicate that and then just go metal, gold. And then we drag these into them. So this one's metal gold. So let's put the albedo there and the normal there. Because that's a normal, it needs to be considered a normal. So make sure to go fix now. Let's just keep the metallic here for now. And that's fine. We can clean it up. But the thing is, the gold is going to be very small on the thing, and the texture is going to be very big. So to be honest, I might just leave it at that because we don't need it. You could, but unless there's other assets in your space using the gold, not worth it. Wood, on the other hand, there's a lot of, so we can definitely put the metallic smoothness in that as well. So fix now, and that'll fix up. We don't want it to be metallic, but we do want it to be kind of smooth. So think about there. That's cool. All right. Now that we have our materials, we can go to our model, go to materials, and then drag these 2 in here. So that is the metal. Yep. And that is the wood. Apply. Excellent. That normal is pretty strong, so I'm going to probably do that. Yeah, fog. Fog's an interesting one on the grounds that, like, not many people use it, but it really adds a lot to a space. I actually added fog to an interior space. That was meant to be kind of spooky and stuff, and it just made it so much better. All right, so let's put this in front of the guy. So the first thing you see, pressing F to zoom in, is the wonderful desk that we've got. That normal is way too strong. The thing is also, like, a lot of desks like this don't have subtle. Is it important? Yeah, no, that lighting looks really quite nice. But if you look at like a lot of these sort of things, like, they wouldn't have it. So let's try it. See, I don't mind that, right? It's nice and smooth, and most desks do look like that. And that normal map in its base state is 5.3 meg, so I could reduce that to 1000 by 1024, or I could just leave it off, and that looks nice. I actually prefer that. So no normal map if I save the file size. Well, Yunji, have you tried the fog tool in lighting? Where is it? Environment, fog, on. So you got that. So as long as you have sort of elements, like, you won't see that if you go there. So you could put that fog on and try that. But if you're looking for like textured fog, then yeah, you'd have to do that, I think. Yeah, I think so. And that's the thing I think that is missing, and it's expensive in file size, because, like, if you put like a can of Coke on this desk, like, you need the texture for that Coke to look all right. So it adds to the space, but it's like it's always a balance, especially in WebGL, where we have limited resources, either file size and also rendering and like VRAM, I think it is, where like our website can use a maximum, I think, of 2 gig. Like, outside of that, it'll start bugging out. So yeah, choosing your optimization and choosing what's important is a really good skill. Like, it's definitely part of all of it. So say, for example, this one, this model is the easiest of the multiple approaches to do it, But this will have 2 draw calls because it's got 2 materials. Now, if I was going to do this, I would actually have, let's say, 90% of it being wood, and then at the bottom I'd have a single line of gold, and then create 1 material. Yeah, it's really nice. I like it. Ooh, we have some normal issues. So this is one of the things I love about Unity is if you update the model, it'll just automatically update. So what you don't see here, and I always forget to check, is putting on face orientation. Blue is good, red is bad. So let's grab all of these ones. Actually, can I select... Oh, that'd be cool. Select... Similar... Normal. No, didn't work. Oh well. So I'm just going to grab the front of all these. Or just a... Why can't I select that one? Oh, because it's not selected. That might be it. Okay, let's try that again. So yeah, when you export, a good tip to do that I always forget, and it's easy to do, to come back, but it'll save a step, is, yeah, turn on statistics and turn on normal. Control plus or Control L, either one is fine. And then go mesh, normals, flip. Blue, 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 blue. Go cam. All my crypto where it'll be safer. The knobs are fine. It was just the little handles. So because everything is blue, all the normals are in the right direction. So I can turn that off. Statistics, very useful for all that. So this is like 1,060 polygons, which is quite small and looks good, I feel. Desk, same export. Go here and better, but we didn't. We didn't select these either, so that's going to go export, FBX, try again. Yay! I know that reference. Now with metallic, if you want metallic, you kind of have to put a, well, it helps if you put a reflection probe. Let's do that just quickly. Under light, reflection probe. Let's just go pretty big on that one. Edit. So then it reflects what this reflection probe sees, because unfortunately we don't have ray tracing in WebGL. One day. And bake. That does the whole thing. Oh well. Okay, Reactor. F to zoom in. I might cancel that actually. I was hoping it would just bake the thing, but it's baking the whole thing. Won't take long. Yeah, cool. Now what we want is a reactor on this and an animation on this. The question is, do we want the ability to open them both? And yes.
is the answer to that. So in that case, I'm not going to put an animation on the top one, because then I think you'd have to use layers and all that sort of stuff. So I'm actually going to make 2 animators, so 2 reactors. That way we can do cool stuff with that. So I'm going to go down to animation. And on the cupboard asset and go create. That way, if we have 2 animations, these can do their own reactor. If we put it on the big one, like if I open one, I'd have to close the other one and stuff. So we don't want that. I want cool things. So, create. Add your art animations. Let's go desk, not two, cupboard, idle. Save. Do that. Make sure this is local. Let's go to pivot. And I'm going to hold down control so I can snap it. Dunk, dunk. That's it. Done. Next. Now, the reason we're putting that in is because the next one will know what it's meant to animate. We only want to animate that pivot. Open. Same again. Record. Let's go. Dink, 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 dink. Yeah, that's good. Done. Let's go back to idle. Let's do the same with this one. Create. Draw. Idle. Now this one is a position thing. So once again, hold left control. Snap. Snap. Open. Record. Yoop. Maybe there. Now the thing is, if I put assets under this element, those will be in there and stick with it. So that's kind of cool. And idle. All right. Next, we need to go to animator. Let's go in order. So we've got our idle and we've got our open. We want the idle to be the default. So when you start the space, it stays there. Right mouse click, make transition to open. Right mouse click, make transition. So we need a new parameter to trigger. Let's do a Boolean. Is open. True or false? Let's make a... Get rid of this so we can open it whenever I want. Make that big so it animates like it slides for that period of time. And then we got is open to true. Open it. Same again. Remove that so we can do it whenever. Longer animation time. Is open is false. Done. Let's do that with the drawer as well. Do 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 do. Now this can be the same because it's a different animator. If you want to be sure, you could probably change that parameter to cupboard open and cupboard drawer open. If you really want to check in with that sort of thing. But I'm fine. Because yeah, spelling, capitals I think are also extremely important. That needs to be false. Okay, cool. What's next? Let's get a reactor object. So I'm going to create an empty as a child because I want it to come. Ooh. Yeah, I want it to be on the door. So I'm going to do reactor underscore cupboard. Add component, reactor. Add component, box, collider. Now that didn't apply to the cage of the box because it's not on the asset. So I'm going to have to manually adjust the size of that, which is fine. No issues there, really. So I'm going to make it a little bigger, just so it's easier to see. You don't want things to be hard to see. Cool. Now, on player interact, we want this to say open. Element. Let's go cupboard. Now that just changes this bit up the top. Now I'm going to invert. So every time I interact with this asset on the cupboard, so make sure it's the animated object. So desk cupboard, not R cupboard, for example. The parameter is open. And then it's a Boolean, and then I'm just going to put in true because it needs something. So invert. So every time I interact with this board, it's just going to do switch between true, false, false, true, true, false, that sort of thing. Done. That's it. Hopefully. Let's test it. Because Reactor is very much a test as you go thing. Common issues is the wrong object with the animator is on the thing, and the spelling of the parameter is incorrect. So, playable files over here. Where's my desk? There we go. So up here, good test. I did that. I did that on purpose to show you that if you don't save before you build the playground files, so if you save before the playground files, they will make sure they'll be updated. Another approach is just to delete the playground files after you've used them. It is a small desk in comparison to a transformer. We can walk through the desk as well, and I'll fix that in a second. So we got that. So if we have a rollover though, and then go E. Ta-da. So I just get in the habit of deleting the playground files just to make sure that it updates. It's a pretty common thing that I do, but saving is the main one. So that's good. Now, let's set this one up. Same thing. Create draw. Add component, reactor. Doesn't have to be first, but I always make it first just because I like things neat. Adjust again. Let's go there, there. Now, small note with these. You'll notice that the avatar could walk through it because we haven't put a collider on it. This one, I'm actually going to put out there a bit. And then I'm going to put this on the desk itself because I don't want this to animate. I might actually do that with this one as well. I think that'll be easier. To sort of set up. So I'm sort of going to put that there. Now, the reason I'm putting these out is because if you put a collider, you won't see the interaction tool. So when I put a box collider on this, which is what I want to do, sort of put that up the top, put that there. Let's make that a little higher. You need to make sure that your reactors are in front of this shape. If they're not, they will not be able to see them because it's basically hierarchy of colliders. This is mostly true with what do you call it? Interact. I'm gonna make that a bit bigger. That should be good. I'm gonna shrink those gizmos. Okay, cool. Save. Oh, I didn't set up the draw. So, on player interact, let's do open again. Let's put it in. Just do draw. We want to invert the animation on the draw, which is open. Benefits of having the same parameter is you have less things to remember. Pros and cons. Pros and cons. Done. Playground. I might load the Ready Player Me avatar as well, because that's a bit more accurate to scale. And that's the thing we should be checking for, rather than optimize prime, which is like 2.5. So, let's go V. You can't do it in the playground, that's right. I'm going to do it anyway. So, actually, no, I'm not. Too much of a thing. So, let's go V, first mode. So, if we go E. E. And this is the benefit of having them set as separate. So, you can sort of... That's a bit slow. So, I might make them a little faster. And that's done. And with this one frame reactor approach, you can easily do that just by going like so. So let's go maybe half. I think that's good. Slow. When you close, I think that'll be faster actually. I found that's really good with doors. Is fast close, slowish, open. Or vice versa. Depending on how you wanted to go it. Do it. Cool. Yeah, alright. Yeah, I'm very happy with the choice of choosing just making the reactor on the big drawer and the cupboard. Once again, it comes down to expectations and setting them correctly. Yeah. So a little bit slower, fast, slower. Excellent. Now, the other thing I'd probably do with this is add sound. So like a... like that. That'd be really good. But I'm not going to do that because finding good audio is really annoying. And I need to find some good audio effects for exactly like doors and drawers. You could probably do all the same sound. So I might look into actually getting some of those purely because those are the most common assets that you'll have with Reactor. So having those sort of handy either in the library would be actually really cool. Okay. We have a cool desk. Oh, cool. First person's actually like first person and got my hands on the side. That's cool. I like that. All right. So we have a very nice... expensive looking desk. And the last thing I want to do is put something in the drawer. So let's go to the drawer and then put an asset in that. So I'm going to put a sphere. And scale that down. I'm just going to hide this asset. No, this one. Because I want to see that. I'm going to hide the gizmos. Yep. Let's put that kind of over here. Because that'd be cool. And also, I'm going to put in a simple cube. It's a bunch of money. That's so much money. Because that's where you put money. Well, no, actually, let's put this one on the shelf, just to show the difference there. So I think that'd be kind of cool. So let's get the cube and put that on. Well, this one doesn't really matter. It just needs to be somewhere because it's not going to be animated. So let's put that over here. So much money. Let's get that lived in affected a little bit. So rough these up a little bit. Let's move that one back a bit. Cool. That looks real. Yeah, sound effects libraries. Like the CCO, like some really good ones, but you really have to spend a bit of time searching for them. So I need to start a library of like assets that are just common. So open doors, closed doors, drawers, stuff like that. Okay. I think that's done. How are we going for time? Oh, nearly perfect. 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Nearly made it. Oh well. Yeah. Boombox sound effects guy. My new job. No more tutorials, everyone. I'm making sound effects. That'd be quite fun, actually. All right. Look at all that money. I'm rich. Excellent. So there we go. Optimize Prime. How do we get this shot in? There we go. That's cool. All right. So, summary, I guess you could say. This session, we did a whole asset. That's a pretty good one, I feel. It's a pretty good asset. We looked at kind of keeping the poly count low. And once again, trim sheets, like there's definitely ways to make this more complicated and interesting with like trim edges and stuff like that. But for this kind of asset, I don't think you need to. The only catch I would say with this is for a beginner builder, this is great. There's no problems with this as a beginner builder. But if you wanted to optimize that little bit more, as noted, I would have that one material. And you could use both of these materials as that. So you create a Photoshop there we go. You create a Photoshop thing and then put the gold right down the bottom and then just move all of the UVs of the gold into that little section down the bottom. And that is a one material asset with quite low polygons, and it's great. Like that would be sort of the perfect thing if I was going to take this to the slight next level. And I'll probably do that before releasing this desk on the library. I'll probably put it up there eventually. So yeah, that's the one thing that would change. Otherwise, this is a perfectly good asset that you could use in your space. With that one material, you could probably do a bunch of different assets. So you could make chairs, you could make other tables, dining tables. You could even make a desk. And then you have that sort of, what would you call it? Style guide, either wood with gold trim, for everything. Yes, so like one image. So let's do it. Why not? So just as a quick example, and then yeah, I won't get into the moving UVs around it, but I can definitely show you what the asset would look like. Once again, exactly for that, reducing the draw calls. Because in a WebGL space, reducing those draw calls is pretty important. So let's say let's open some of those files that we were looking at. So Mona tutorials, posture check. Let's go open this and this. So the diffuse basically. Open. Okay, so we're gonna get the metal because that's the smaller one. Control A. Nope. Control A. Control C. Control paste. I'm gonna make that a. Let's say maybe that much. Yeah, that much should do. And then click on that. There. That's it. Oh, hey, Palo. How's it going? Palmi? Bad with names. I've been in Japan and I still can't say Japanese names well. So I apologize. I'll stick with Moody because that's cool. Now, Yunji, what would you say should be the max pixel dimensions for one of these when you consolidate all your textures? Okay, so the texture size depends on the detail that you're going for. And how often that material, like there's a few questions that you ask, like how detailed is the texture? So with this wood texture, it's pretty detailed. How big is the asset? So if it's a small vase, then that isn't important. Then I would probably be maximum 512, and reduce the texture. So maybe don't have custom metallic smoothness, or if you do, it's smaller than the other ones, like 64 by 64 to get that impression. So there's all a lot of choices in regards to that. For assets in a space, not the space. So if you're making a house, then that gets a bit different. But for this desk, I would probably not go over 1024 by 1024, ideally. But with that in mind, there are ways to get around that as well. So say, for example, you can use the secondary normal map. And I can look at that in here, where, let's go to our metal. Let's go to our wood, actually. So say, for example, we've actually taken off the normal map. But if we had a main normal map, but we wanted that like really fine detail on top of it, you can actually use a normal map down here, which will overlap the two. So if your big normal texture for the detail is smaller, then you can use a really small normal map on the secondary map to get that fine detail in. So there's all sorts of things you can do to get the best result with the smallest resource possible. I enjoy that process. Like, I like the puzzle solving of how do I get this file size down? How do I get the poly count down? How do I get the material count down? And making choices that way. So in this case, for example, with the wood, we took off the normal map because it's a big normal map, but it also doesn't look that much better. Like, it looks detailed, but it doesn't look better. And like, I even had to reduce the 0.2 to make it look where I wanted it to, and that's not very good. The other approach is we actually go to this asset, and then we can change the size of it here, for example. So if we went 512, it gets a bit fuzzy. You can I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the stream, but it gets a bit blurry. But to be honest, I don't mind it. But let's go filter mode to no filter. And that sharpens that, but it gets a bit like Minecraft. But say we did that for the bigger detail, and then we added a smaller one on the like a 512 tileable normal map to do that. And I can actually do that, I think. Hang on. So if I get the floor normal map and put that in our material, you'll get the idea anyway. So let's put that on normal map. Let's tile that. So let's go 20 by 20. And then you get that really fine detail. But that's a really small element. Like that's 1.3 because it's 1024 by 1024. But let's make that 512. No difference. So let's do 256. No difference. Let's do 128. Okay, that's when you start seeing a difference. But that's also 21k now. So I'll take that because that looks fine. Then if you tile it more, maybe a little bit more. So let's go back to our material. Let's go 30 by 30. Then it's cleaned up again because it's super fine. So, yeah, many different ways. I kind of want to do the 1 point. Let's do it. Why not? The thing is also we need to do this with the normal as well. So I'm going to open those two files. So let's get the normal and the wood. Open those two. Now I'm going to get rid of that because all of them are in here. So let's clean this up to be easily read. So we've got diffuse, normal, which we're not going to use. We are going to use, no, we're not going to do that one either. No, just normal, just diffuse, done. So let's save that out, export PNG. Let's put this in, let's put it in the build itself and start using that just to save a step. So assets, add your art, textures. Let's go desk 02, and then I'm going to call this diffuse. Let's go back here. Go to our shading. Let's change this to open image. Nope. Textures, diffuse. Cool. Go to UV edit and go to all of the assets. Wood select. Nope. Metal. Select. Select. Right. So we need all of that. And maybe that. What's that one? Sure. We need all of this to be in here. There we go. Nope. Okay. Done. Now, because it's such a small area, we actually need to rotate some of these. Actually, I'm going to use this one because it's easier. There we go. Rotate those. Yeah, compression quality, like, what is it? Crunch compression. Super good. But yeah, it does slow down loading stuff, which is a bit of a pain. But well worth the file size shift. That one's tricky because that's... What? Okay. So let's spread, split that. Rotate that. So it's sort of going a little bit trim sheet on this. But the thing is also, we could add a bit more detail on this one. So let's scale it up. If you really wanted to, you could like make them quite big. But I'm sure you get the picture. Let's just grab those, put them in there. Cool. Now that's going to tile that way. Now the other thing we need to do is wood. So let's deselect and select those. Make sure. So this is a good example of the tiling. So because this tiles, that bit there is going to be chrome, metal. So we don't want that. We want that down here. And this one's fine because it tiles that way. But just going to be neat. The thing is, the problem with this one is you can't scale the primary map. Because if we did, then this line would be right in the middle here. So make sure that everything is kind of at the scale you want it to be for that. And for that, you could actually just like move everything a bit more into the middle to get the scale you want. But I think that's fine. Okay. So now that we have one texture, we can actually just remove this one. So bye. Remove that as well. And then make sure that, and it will be because I've removed them all, but I'm just going to make sure that these are assigned. And go back to shading and make sure this is the right one. So for some reason that reset. Yeah. Now, here's the thing. The metal and smoothness should be different between the wood and the thing. So we will kind of need a metal smoothness thing. So we'll probably add that. So let's save this, export that into our scene. Go here. Update our wood. Let's do wood and gold. Get rid of metal gold, because we just do not need that anymore. Get rid of all of these. Sure. Just so you know they're not used. And then go diffuse. Done. Looks exactly the same. I didn't get the two things again. This might break Reactor. We'll see how good Unity is figuring this stuff out. Because the names are the same, it might be okay. So we'll find out when we do it. This fell down. So I need to put that in the drawer. Let's put that up again. That's fine. Yeah. But you know how to do it, and I'll just do it again, I guess. It doesn't take too long. But most of the things seemed okay. Yeah, now it's gone. That said, the animations might still be here. Okay, so let's do that. Animator. Yeah. This one is the draw. So let's put that in there. Let's do the same with the cupboards. No promises. But because all the names are the same, should work. So that's a shortcut on that. And once again, the normal's kind of fine. I like that really fine detail on there, so I'm going to keep that. So one texture and this tiny normal map. Do we want it bigger or smaller, or even shine? Really fine detail. That's kind of cool. I like that. Cool. So in what, 10 minutes we reduced the material count down to 1, and that's a really good way to do it. Let's see how that goes. Too big. Ah, no. It doesn't work. Oh, well. Oh, that's because okay, no, that makes sense. Makes sense. Looks good, though. So that's fine. So yeah, we reduced the material to 1. So it's 1 draw call. Is open and true, so that's fine. So what's happened is the reactor, these get dropped. So let's put the cupboard back in. And let's put the drawer back in. Yeah, that should work. Quicker than doing it from scratch, I'll say that much. All right, let's do it. Excellent. Okay, so you can, if you do the mistake of not exporting the things, therefore it loses the objects, therefore all of the connections break, you don't have to make it from scratch because those animated tools and Reactor things are still there. You just need to reconnect everything. So that's all that is. Okay, so I think we have our desk. Now, let's have a look. Moody's got some good points here. Let's do it. Why not? Same material. Yeah. A lot of cool stuff with that. Enable GPU instancing from the Unity material editor. Is that on this? Yeah. So, do that. Small note. This it's completely separate, but this one is a tricky one to find. If you find that your light map starts, if you do a light map and it gets really pixelated and weird, sometimes the double-sided global illumination button will fix that. So just a heads up on that. Okay. And uncheck batching on static. Really? But doesn't, and tell me if I'm wrong because I don't know. This level of optimization, not so well versed on the grounds that I don't make that complicated spaces. So there's that. But does enable GPU instancing and batching, how do those overlap, if that makes sense? Like, isn't GPU instancing basically batching? What's your thoughts on that? The thing is, and this is where it gets interesting, because these are dynamic, you wouldn't want this to be static at all. That said, if it was baked and that was all dark, you probably wouldn't matter that much. So you'd have to kind of check it, I guess. But what you're saying is basically, I'll put it on static. So let's say we do want to bake it, light map it, and then you get rid of batching static. Is that the approach there? And then, yeah, make a bazillion of them. Is there a quick way to do that? Let's do a snap. Control D, snap, 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 snap. There we go. Control D, snap, 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 snap. Doesn't take too long, to be honest. Yeah. And do it on the first one. The other option, actually, is prefab. Let's do that. Because prefabs are great. Now that this is done, and we like it where we want, I'm going to make a prefab of this by just dragging it in, create a variant. And then when I edit this one, I will edit all of them. Oh, okay. Gotcha. So it's kind of like the light probe version of dynamic objects. This is going to make a great picture. Yep. So, for example, I'm gonna go to this one, go to the desk, update this one, but that's gonna be the, oh no, not that one. Red. What can I do? Like, yeah. If I edit one and then go either I edit one in sort of like this mode, anything I do in here will apply to all of them. So for example, if I just get the cupboard and move it forward, all of them will change. The other approach to that is if I edit one just in the normal state, so move it forward, that's slightly different. But if I wanted to, I can go to the prefab, like the one with the blue box, like the variant, go overrides, and then go apply all, and then it will do that. So prefabs are great. Super useful for optimization and just saving a lot of time. Yeah, I don't think this is going to be enough polygons to actually make a difference. So let's do a frames per second check. And let's like really go into it. Hang on. So we'll put a portal up here. Spawn point has to move to here. Let's grab all of the desks to here. Duplicate. Except that one. I kind of like that it's not there. All right, save. Let's see what frame rate we get with this. Playground. Now, the thing is, all those chairs look like a lot of stuff, but to be honest, the whole space is not even 5 meg. I needed that. Takes a bit to load it all. Interesting. Thanks for joining, Yinji. Had a good time. Thanks for your questions. Jump in the next workshop next week. Bake occlusion culling, Roger. Alright. Occlusion culling. That one... Where's that one again? I actually forget. I did a workshop a long time ago with Thomas, I think it was, and we went into that, but I forget how to do it. So, Moody, tell me your secrets. Yeah. Now. Where's the occlusion box thing? I remember doing it, but I forget how to do it completely. AI? Or I just have to bake. Occlusion culling. That one. Mesh renderer. Okay. I just bake the whole thing? Well, that said, I do have the metallic in there, so I could do that. So are we baking lighting or are we baking occlusion? Yeah, that one. See how that goes. On that, let's just put a camera in so we can sort of see what they're doing. That is 100% a thing. Ah! That's fun. Okay. I think it works. And that did that because of the occlusion, the GPU instancing. Just confirming that was the thing that did that. Save. Playground. Yeah, did that one. Yeah, it's already faster. But when it has all all of them in there. Ah! Is that not working? You can't tell because like you can't see what you can't see. Let's delete that one just in case. Like I think it worked. Like it does it. Maybe it didn't update. We'll give that a shot. It is a good example of occlusion culling, having that many desks and like moving the camera. Yeah, like it definitely adds a lot to it. Doesn't seem to be changing the frame rate very well though. Yeah. So to be honest, this is not the best example of it. And hopefully you don't have an office that is this many desks, because that's late stage capitalism at its finest. But that is a good example of what occlusion culling can do, where it's just like anything behind something will be hidden. So yeah, pretty useful for that sort of element there. So if you had like walls behind something, that would be really quite good. So let's do an example. You got me on a down rabbit hole. So let's split these up a bit. And put a wall in. So walls in, cool. Next up, we want that to be... So with this object, what's that deal? Is that just a bake as well? Or that would be actually static. So let's just make that static. And go bake. Okay, let's get the camera in there again. See how well that works. Put it up here. Now it doesn't work. What? Yeah, so many rabbits. Why was it working? Now it doesn't. Ah, visualization. There we go. Okay. Why is it showing those ones? That's interesting. Huh. We need the camera to go on audio levels. Okay, so occlusion culling, super useful. Do it because it's great. Let's save that and see if that is better with wall. Yeah, that's clear that make probably is a better idea. I'll probably do that next. Well, that works. So, nope, not that one. That one. Yeah, you'll never see it working, but it's all about the frame rate. So it's kind of interesting that the frame rate doesn't seem to be affected much by it. So I'm not too sure why that is. But end of rabbit hole. It was like 3-hour sessions. Raising the wall, you think? Well, the thing is, because the visualization showed it that it wouldn't show the thing, so it should be hidden. Should. So I'm not too sure, to be honest. Let's try clear then bake. Last thing. Like completely clear. All right, occlusion. Clear. Okay. Object. Bake. All right, let's give that a shot. Not too sure. It's kind of interesting though that that only gets up to 50 frames a second. So I might look into that actually, because that's actually quite low for the fact that I have one desk in there. Oh yeah, for sure. Like with the visualization of that occlusion culling, like if that was working, that would be amazing. And that was a good visualization of it actually. So I think that's a good description, visualization of occlusion culling and what that does. But I need to look into why this shot is still only 50 frames a second. So I might talk to the team about that one, because I'd like to know that. That would be a very useful skill, and I'll get back to it. Hopefully get back to the, like, put it in the chat or whatever on the YouTube event once that goes. That said, it is a lot of desks. So we'll do that. So I'm gonna clean this up. I'm gonna hide most of this because I want to get one shot for the Discord. Let's get that one. Let's just hide those, I think. Yeah. Move these back. Yeah, that's fine. File, save, done. Ooh, that might be it. I think the wall was, though. And once again, I'm not sure. I don't use occlusion very often, but the visualization made it, like, it looked like it was working. My theory is maybe Mona doesn't support that yet. I don't think it did. Maybe it doesn't now. I'm not too sure, so I'm going to have to look into that. But yes, worth playing around with for sure. But I think we'll wrap it up for now, because this is getting a very long session, which is fine. If you're around for a bit, I'd happily keep playing. I would like to figure that out, actually, or if we can. There we go. Do a cool power shot. There you go. Off into the distance. Ah! There you go. Alright, excellent. 2:15, done. Copy all. Alright, excellent. Thanks for helping, Moody. I think I learned a few things from you, which I muchly appreciate. It's always good to have, like, basically, people talking, everyone learning, everyone getting better. I should get better. If I'm going to be running around with optimized prime, I should learn all that sort of stuff. But I'm definitely more on the 3D assets and stuff. That said, super excellent, very, very useful. And yeah, I'll chase it up to actually look into what's happening there and what we missed. But that'll be a lot of messing about, and don't want to waste the stream on that one. So yeah. Yeah, had a really good time. Jump in next week. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do. Any requests from chat what next week's workshop might be, apart from occlusion culling. What do you mean by that one? Check withdrawal calls in Unity game mood. Game mode? Oh, yeah, okay. I get ya. I think the thing that throws me is the fact that the visualization tool worked fine. But these are all very good things to check, to be honest. So, draw calls in Unity game mode. So, we don't have a camera, so we need a camera. Create camera. Move that up here. Yep, cool. Let's go game. Okay, so saved by batching, so that works. Yeah, interesting. Planar reflection? What do you mean by that one? Like on the floor? Like, is that a visual thing or an occlusion thing? What do you mean? Actually, one thing you can do... Oh, where is it? They've changed it in 2020. Like, you could have different view... Where's the view one? Oh, maybe that's just in the scene, actually. Ah, here we go. Yeah, so that allows you to see cool stuff, if need be. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to call it there. Otherwise, this will just never stop. Oh, how about this? How about this? I've been there so many times. So yes, we're going to wrap it up there. Appreciate your input, Moody. Very, very useful things. That like limited dissolve was actually really cool. Big fan of that one as well. But yeah, I'll look into this and see if I can find anything out on our side. 3D static. Stop it. Ah, yeah. So just a reflection. Yeah, I for that one expensive, especially if you're going to do this thing. So I'd like to figure out the occlusion thing first. That said, the reflection probe is usually pretty good, but I do need to bake that as well. So that, and maybe all the chairs. So it's a bit of an interesting one, actually. Maybe just do that. It'll take too long. It slows down things. No. No. I know what you're doing. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up there. Otherwise, there's another 6 hours of this, because it's always the case. But I'm gonna bake this and see if that does anything. And if not, I'm gonna see in the team see if I can find out if anyone knows what's going on with that thing, because that occlusion should work from the visualization of it. So yeah, all right. Great chatting with you. See you in the Discord, and catch you next week, maybe. Have a good day.